Shalom, I want to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Hashai, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim Hashai. These are the days, minutes, hours leading to the return of the one who will call Jesus Christ. I want to do this lesson real quick on the Anthony Joshua situation and just talk about, how great it's going to be in the kingdom. Because the other day I was speaking about how, in the kingdom, these different highs and lows that we have in life, we're not going to be dealing with them anymore. You're not going to have situations really good and then the next day, the next week, the next month have a disastrous, life changing decision, situation. Um, and this comes from Anthony Joshua. He got injured bad in a car crash, and two of his peoples died in a car crash when he going to Nigeria. Now he just knocked out Jake Paul, and it was a big fight on Netflix. Everybody was excited, hooping and hollering. There's all these girls left and right complimenting him, say they want to be with him. He was pretty much as high. He's good looking, he's tall, he can fight. He was pretty much as high as you could get in this society, in this world, in this, plane. And then what just happened? He got into a car crash. Look at Joshua 36 was traveling in the back of a vehicle that had a tire burst while on a highway, and the driver of the car lost control as a result before crashing into a stationary vehicle. Man, the tire burst, and people are saying, oh, it's because he went to Nigeria and they don't have money and stuff like that. Who knows? But really, at the end of the day, what it is the Heavenly Father wanted to do that for whatever reason. He wanted to do that for whatever reason. How about Shemel Shah has his own ways, but the bigger lesson is how much we need the kingdom, and also how all victories that you have in this life can be taken away at any moment. Whatever it is, whatever victories, whatever things that you think you have good in this life, Yahweh Shemel Shai could abase it or take it away at any moment. So this is why you always want to try your best to be prayed up and try your best to be on the right side of Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 12. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. So people don't know their time, you know, and people don't want to live in fear, because if they would just be sitting in their house all day, just scared, okay, what if I go out and this happen? They'll be just be trapped in the box, trapped in fear. But at the same time, and the Lord can still get you in there. I saw a movie like that. This dude just was stayed indoors, boarded up his house 24/7. But Lord could still get you. Lord could have you walk in the kitchen, slip on a pebble. Could have different beasts get into your house some sort of way. However it is, But um, yeah, man. Uh, people don't know. Their time. He was on top of the world. He just knocked out Jake Paul. Somebody who a lot of the world hate. Had all these girls talking about him, and then two of his peoples, who he was celebrating with, lost their lives right in front of him, and he's injured. But he walked out injured, but um, you know that he's going to be going through it for a while. Mentally and physically. He's probably not going to box again, seeing two of his people die right in front of him. Who know? Who knows? But these are the things that happen in society. That's why we want the kingdom, because I want to be able to celebrate a victory and just continue to be on a so-called high from that victory. Not worry about on the drive home this happening, or this happening good with me, but one of the people that I love, something bad happening with them, or etc. Or something good happening to somebody, then something happening to me, etc. You know, or just these different situations that can happen. You name it, you name it. Anything that's so-called good or cool, there's a disastrous way it could go at any moment. And I've experienced that. You know, I've experienced that. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity, right? So, you know, say you are going out, you hit it off with a girl, you lay it down or whatever, everything's good, everything feels amazing. You're not thinking about how you were locked up some years ago. You're not thinking about the how 10 years ago you had so much bills and debt. You just think about, man, this is amazing. This is amazing. I got money. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Um, and in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity. Then on the flip side, what if you get into a car crash? What if you're sick? You're not thinking about, oh, this that. You just think about, damn, like this freaking is terrible. For it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deeds shall be discovered. And to be honest with you, this is one of my favorite. These are one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite scriptures. These three scriptures right here, because when you think about these three scriptures, it'll always keep you humble. Because yeah, there's no problem with that. And just you know, having a good time and enjoying yourself certain times and things like that. But these different scriptures will always keep you humble because remember how easily they could flip. I mean, how many athletes, how many superstars have had great nights, great moments turned into disastrous? You know, they get accused of whatever, or how many times have we seen that happen? People or this one high school. There's this one high school these dudes just celebrated the winning the championship. They just won the state championship, and then a dude was playing with his guns with some guns after winning the state championship for football. Shot his homie. I think the dude died, and now he's going to jail for a long time. That's negligence and murder, or whatever negligence, however it's gonna go. So he was catching the interception in the state championship. He won. He was about to get a ring on his finger, on top of the world. Got all the girls in his high school wanted him, pictures, offers. About to go to college, Ohio State, whatever. And now he's gonna be sitting behind a jail cell. Dancing after interceptions, celebrating after tackles, all that. Now he's about to be in the jail cell. These are the things that happen in this society. This is why we want the kingdom. You know, who wants to live on edge their entire life? Anytime something good happens, you just think about how bad things can go, and that's how certain people think. They can't even have a good time because they're just thinking about different bad situations that can and will possibly happen. So, the affliction of an hour maketh a man forget a pleasure, and in his end, his deeds shall be discovered. Um, Judge none blessed before his death, for a man shall be known in his children. Um, and we just gonna end it right there. So yeah, this is just a reminder to brothers, just a reminder myself, just a reminder to everybody. Just continue to keep your how about Shemel Shai in your heads and good as well. Because when certain wrong things happen or bad things happen, people run to Heavenly Father, and that's beautiful. But when certain good things happen, sometimes we don't give the Heavenly Father credit. We're just thinking about how much we're just enjoying the fruits of this life. But yeah, man. Hey, how about Shemel Shah could flip it around at any time? So you want to just be thankful, pray, pray that even the good things happen that is for our good. Because who knows if he would have traveled to Nigeria and been in that car if he didn't win, or if he didn't take that fight. Who knows? Maybe he would have stayed in the United Kingdom. You know, and then the day man's goes up the Lord, so Lord wanted that to happen for some reason. Shalom.